Hi, I'm Megan Reynolds. Today I was in a really short Bible study on the Great Commission from Matthew, and there were some things that really struck me that I thought I would share with you related to prayer and listening to the Lord. So let me just start by reading Matthew 28, starting with verse 16 and going through 20. Then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." So usually when I hear this passage talked about, they focus on the Great Commission part itself and not the steps leading up to what Jesus told his disciples. But those things are actually really interesting, and I think they're really significant. So verse 16, the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. So prior to this, Jesus told the disciples to go to this mountain. So the disciples have obeyed Jesus. They don't know why they need to go to this mountain. They're just doing what Jesus told them to do. And then when they saw him, so they're waiting on this mountain, then Jesus appears, they see him, and they worshiped him, but some doubted. So I noticed that prior to the Great Commission, we see the disciples were obeying what Jesus had told them to do. They waited for Jesus. And then they worshiped him. So all of these steps, obedience, waiting, and worship, happened before the giving of this Great Commission. They're super important instructions for the rest of their lives. And I just think, what if they hadn't obeyed? What if they hadn't listened to Jesus and gone to the mountain? What if they hadn't been willing to wait? What if they didn't worship when they saw him? Would they have been given these instructions that have changed our lives? Maybe not. So today I just want to encourage you to think about, what's the last instructions that Jesus gave you? Have you been obedient to whatever those instructions were? Sometimes Jesus just gives us one piece of the puzzle. He doesn't tell us the whole picture, just like the disciples didn't know what Jesus was going to say when they got to the mountain or why they were supposed to go there. They just knew they were supposed to go, and so they did. So what is the thing that Jesus has told you to do? And have you gone and done that? And if you have, are you willing to just wait? Wait for Jesus until he shows up and gives you more instructions. So my challenge for you today is to think about, what's the last thing that Jesus told you to do? Have you been obedient? And are you willing to wait?